Yo, 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 and welcome back to Creeps and Crimes
Podcast.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Morgan. And happy freaking Thursday.
Happy freaking Thursday.
This is our very last pre-recorded episode.
And we did it.
And I'm so proud of us.
I'm so proud of us. We literally did that.
No, we fucking pulled that off.
And we don't be doing stuff like that, guys.
No.
We're the first to be like, well, we can work this out later. And then we end up being like, oh my God, why did we do that to ourselves? We didn't this time.
We didn't. We fucking stuck it through.
We literally.
We tooth and nailed that shit.
Yeah, we white knuckled it.
Yeah.
100%. We're still going through it. Watch something just absolutely catastrophic happen.
Yeah, hopefully while I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
Do not disturb.
You guys will get an episode of me being like,
hey, no episode this week.
Nobody tell Morgan that this happened, but I'm going to read both of our notes. Morgan gets a notification. It was like, someone has broken into your Google Docs.
Your Google Docs.
Your Google Docs have been compromised. I'm like, it's me. Don't worry about it.
Oh, shit. I really want to open a bakery. I told Aaron the other day, I've just been watching so many like cake stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, Aaron, I know I could do this if I had the tools to do it and the time and the patience.
It'd be so fun.
And like good kitchen. Like,
yeah.
I want to like have that thing
kitchen.
that's the when the cake spins and the icing and it has those like two rulers.
Yeah.
And it smooths it out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I think I literally have one.
Fuck, marry, kill. Owning bakery, coffee shop, bar and lounge.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Bar, lounge together.
Okay.
Like cocktail lounge.
Okay, wait. Can we do a restaurant? Because bakery technically will have coffee.
Okay, so we'll do bakery, coffee shop together.
Yeah.
Restaurant, and then like a cocktail lounge.
Okay.
A good, classy,
good one.
our cocktail lounges. Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill for those. You go ahead.
I'm going to kill my restaurant. Fuck my coffee house, even though it'd be sexier to fuck your cocktail lounge. But I would marry a cocktail lounge because I think as a business decision, we would absolutely make a banger cocktail lounge.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna, because fuck is short term. Marries forever. Kills by. No. Oh my God. I don't know. Like, my dilemma is I don't want to deal with all the drama that goes into owning a food, like the food, the restaurant. But I would love to own a restaurant. I think I would make an amazing restaurant. I would make such an experience.
So maybe marry the restaurant.
But I don't want to do that. Like, I wouldn't want to do that forever.
So
like,
it.
Yeah. So I guess fuck. But not even fuck. Like, I would rather have a bakery coffee shop for a short amount of time. So I think I'd rather fuck a bakery / coffee shop.
Okay.
Marry a cocktail lounge.
Yeah, baby.
I guess kill the restaurant, but like I would one night stand a restaurant.
But yeah, I could one night stand a restaurant. I think if our cocktail lounge had really good hors d'oeuvres and like
see, like I would prefer that. Like I would prefer like little a cocktail bar, just niche things, like little dessert pieces, and like you can get, and also like with the cocktail lounge / like bar, I would maybe even have it as a coffee shop in the beginning of the day, second half it flips to a cocktail lounge, like curated coffee shop from 8 to 2 and then shuts down at 2, revamp, get rid of all the coffee shit, because either way we're gonna have to have an espresso machine because we have to have espresso martinis.
Period.
4 o'clock reopens for a full cocktail lounge, and then also past 10 p.m. it turns into like a dance bar situation.
Yeah, to
dance and have liquor in the same place is a really different license. Go ahead.
Not to be conceited. We would make the best coffee bar in Knoxville.
There would be nobody.
Cocktail lounge.
Yeah, there would be nobody that could ever. And you know what I would do?
If we had like unlimited funds,
yeah,
we would blow this shit out of the water.
Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and for big holidays, we would even do brunch. We would be a brunch place on those days.
Yeah.
And do just like little things. Like I'm thinking like a tea party situation, like for the front half of the day. Like you can come and there's like little sandwiches you can get.
Finger Sammies.
Yeah, finger Sammies, and you can get what are those things called? At bridal showers have them all the time.
Macaroons.
No, yes, but that's a great idea too. They're like little pieces of wedding cake, and they got the like loosier. Oh my God, these are my pedophores.
Don't know what it is.
Pedophores,
but I bet it's good.
You've had them at my bridal shower. It's very like pretty much a staple.
I probably didn't because there's so much food there.
Yeah, well,
and it was
you remember these because I pulled all of us an extra one to eat later. They're the little squares that had the flour on top, and they're like cream, and they look like they have like solid jizz on them.
I'm sorry, solid jizz on the
Like that's what the icing looks like, but it's like a little square thing.
Yum.
It's really fucking delicious. They're probably my favorite things ever.
Okay, fine.
And I know you had one because most of the time they're made with almond flour, and I specifically had them not made with almond flour because I forced you to try one.
That's a true fucking friend.
Yeah.
When your friends acknowledge your allergies, then those are true fucking
Me today
friends.
on a meeting. So where can we put allergies at?
When you're friends that know of your allergies and don't acknowledge them, fuck off.
We're so funny. I love us.
Well, should we wrap this up?
Yeah. Okay. Before we move into this episode, we do want to let you guys know that we're trying something a little different this month. It's not going to be permanent as of right now, but we're trying to figure out the best way or the best date for creepy accounts to go out. So over the next few months, they're going to be bebopping around. You know, typically they come out on the 5th. They used to come out on the 1st. Then it was like whenever the fuck we could get it out. And we need to go back and experiment with where is the best location for them in terms of not having any run-ins with other episodes. Like we don't want to give you a ton at the end of the week and none at the beginning of the week, and then they merge with each other's
kind of feels
situations.
like we were previously just like flooding our feed.
Yeah, flooding the feed, especially with love it, hate it. So we're not getting rid of creepy accounts. Absolutely not. It's just for this month, for May, instead of putting an entire other episode right here, we're going to put creepy account as the regular episode. And trust me, these are really, really good. Like no one get upset. There's creepy, there's crimey, there's conspiracy, there's everything.
And it helps with our workflow currently and our state of mind and our sanity because we
100%.
Have been pre-recording, 9,000 episodes the last couple weeks. So
yes.
Give us some grace. Don't get mad.
Don't get mad. We just want to try this one out. It might be a thing that we keep. Let us know how you feel about it. Comment on the post on Instagram to let us know, or on Facebook. But also, before we get in, we wanted to dedicate this episode to someone very, very special. So one of our friends, one of our listeners, one of our besties, Emily, DM'd us a few weeks ago and let us know that her boyfriend passed away just recently, and his name is Casey. She was having a really hard time with listening to music or just like finding something to take her mind off of everything that's going on in her life. And she turned us on. It just helped her feel not so alone, but also, which you guys know from us, like music for me is so intensely tied to emotion. Same situation with her. She needed just something a little different, something to just mix it up, but she also needed background. And she turned on our podcast. It was so kind that she reached out to let us know that she was listening to us while dealing with the loss of her sweet boyfriend. And she offered to send us a candle from her company, Foster & Company. First off, I have to say that these candles are stunning. She sent us two. She sent us this special candle that we're about to light for you all. Also a second one that's like a volcano moment.
It smells so good.
Oh my God. When I got the package out of the P.O. box smelled phenomenal. It was
Postal
so
workers
great.
are probably like, thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. So on Instagram, she's at Foster & Company, or Foster & Co. on Instagram. She made this special candle for her boyfriend, Casey, who was called Bubs. That's his nickname. So I wanted to read you what the front of the candle says, and then we're going to get it out and we're going to light it and just have a little moment to remember Casey and just send love and light towards Emily. This is what the candle says. Bubs, this candle is hand poured and intentionally scented with notes of Stephen King, spicy foods, Elvis, loud music, Louisville, and all things Finrer? I don't know what that is. To make your heart feel light and full, remembering how much Casey loved you. There's a sweet little picture that I'm going to lean forward and show you guys that are watching on YouTube.
Aw, his little picture.
It's just a little cute old picture. The candle is so stunning, and it's a wood wick. It's a stunning candle. It's my favorite. But we wanted to make sure that we lit this in honor of him. And she also sent us really cute matches. Lit this in honor of him. And I do have them somewhere. And we're very honored that we could be a part of your healing process and just keep you company while you need it. So we're going to light this in honor of Casey while we record our podcast today. And we just ask that everyone send Emily love and light and her family along with Casey's family. We're just really thankful that we can do this and share this with you all.
Thank you,
So let me light it.
Bubs is like, those dumb bitches, I'm glad you found them. This one's for you, Bubs.
This one's for you, Bubs, and this one's for you, Emily. We love you dearly, and thank you for allowing us to share this moment with you.
Thank you.
So, Morgan, hit them with it.
If you're driving, throw that shit on cruise control.
If you got a glass, pour that shit up.
And let's get creepy. Okie dokie. So the first one we have, in a huge congratulations to
Yes.
Miss Alyssa. She's pregnant with her second baby.
2.
The title is, congratulations. The title is Alyssa, aka OG Pick Me Call VP. Creepy account. I submitted this on the website too, but I'm sending it here too in case you see this first. Don't hate me, LOL. Also, this is way longer than I realized. Oops, that's okay. We love that.
We love it.
Hey girlies. So I totally missed the window for the Imaginary Friends app, working mama life. But after listening, I knew I still had to submit this. I never had an imaginary friend, but my little sister did. Like hardcore. Baby J, if you're listening to this, I love you. So flashback to like 2002-ish. My sister was a toddler and she had 2 imaginary friends, Crixon and Moltzen.
What the fuck?
Yes, you read that right. Crixon and Moltzen. What 2-3-year-old comes up with these names? When we were little, my mom would take us to Franklin quite often to go shopping, to go eat, all the things, and we would always take the same route to get there. One day when we were driving, my sister pointed to a house and said, "That's Crixon's house." Then pointed to the one next door and said, "And that's Moltzen's house." Every time we would drive by, she would point this out. Every single time. And it was always the same 2 houses. This went on for months. And eventually, one of those houses was torn down. The other? Oh, it's the lodge at Arlington Vineyards.
Stop. I'm going there this weekend.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You're going to Moltzen's house.
Oh my God.
Or Crixon's.
Vlog immediately.
Most of what I remember about these friends is pretty innocent. She would play with them, talk to them, blame things on them, like drawing on the door with a Sharpie, but nothing sinister. That is until the night my sister burnt her hand. We were at home with a babysitter while my parents went to dinner or something. Side note, this babysitter was very responsible and had watched us multiple times. What happened was not her fault. But this particular night, we had all been playing together. She had made us ramen noodles for dinner, and after we ate, we all went back into my room to play with my brats. My sister was running in and out, going back and forth from her room to mine. Shortly after, my parents got home and the babysitter left. That's when my mom noticed my sister's hand. Red, swollen, with pretty severe burns. When she asked what happened, my sister kept saying she shut her hand in the window, which was obviously not the case. After lots and lots of questioning and pushing, she finally admitted that she went into the kitchen, used the stool to climb up, and she laid her hand on the hot stove. When my mom asked why, she simply said, "Crixon and Moltzen told me to." My sister never cried, never screamed, nothing. The babysitter nor I knew anything had even happened. She never even as much as said that her hand hurt. She had burns so bad that for weeks, my mom had to take her to the pediatrician to have her wound dressed.
Oh my God.
Yet she never even winced in pain. Her burns eventually healed and life moved on. And that's really one of the last things I remember about these imaginary friends. Was this just another time of her blaming something she did on the IFs, or was this something more malicious and sinister at play? I guess we'll never know. P.S. I'm going to look into this property and see if there's anything I can find on the families who live there. I've thought about this many times, but to be honest, I've been a little afraid of the possibility of there being a connection because your girl is not trying to encounter any ghosts. I'm a weenie, but if I find anything, y'all will be the first to know. Congratulations on Dear Media. I'm so proud of you both, and I can't wait to see where this takes you. Love you both so much. LITB, baby.
Oh my God.
Liza.
What the fuck?
It's the fact, like, I would say, like, oh, she probably just, like, blamed them. Like, if she was so, like, chill as a kid, like,
right.
Just blame these imaginary friends because she wanted to do something, like, rebellious.
Right.
But it's the fact that she was pointing houses out, and the fact that the names are so, like, 1800s vibes.
And, like, the way that...
In, like, Nashville, Central Tennessee names. Like, Crixon. Get your ass down here, Crixon. Crixon. You know what I mean? Like, that's giving 1800s.
You know, I'm just thinking, like, I wouldn't have thought, I would, exactly what you said, like, maybe just being rebellious or, like, wanting to sit her hand on the stove and was like, shit, I shouldn't have done
that. Like, I couldn't tell you the amount of temptations I had when I was a kid. I was like, it can't hurt that bad.
Right. What are they talking about?
You know,
But the way that you had to like pry and pry, or your mom, not you, had to pry and pry and pry for her to finally admit it because she was afraid that she wouldn't be allowed to see Crickson and Molson anymore.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, something's wrong. And why the fuck are we just now hearing about this, Alyssa?
Yeah, so I should have some
VP
more.
OG Pick and Colt.
I know you got more shit on there.
Yeah, I know.
On that mind
when
of
we
yours.
got Crickson and Molson.
I would
walking around.
love to know who those people are because they're real.
Well, now I definitely have to do some research on the lodge of this place. I'm literally going this fucking weekend.
What are the odds?
I mean, I literally keep forgetting that I'm going there this weekend.
I keep forgetting that you're also going there this weekend.
Yeah, thank God, honestly, we got this because I probably would have forgotten until McKenna pulled up at my house and was like, you ready?
Let's go.
Let's roll. And I've been like, I don't know. Anyways.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you so much,
and
Alyssa.
Congrats on the baby again. LITB.
So glad we have another niece or nephew on the way.
I know. I can't wait for the Christmas card.
I know. Okay. Number 2 is from Miranda. And this is titled IF Story Twin Edition. You girls keep me young. Oh, I love you so much. Insert the gif of Regina George's mom.
I love that.
It's on the email and it wouldn't come over to our Google Docs. So it was so fucking cute. Either way, let me just start off by saying
I love you so much.
I love you so much. Let me start off by saying that you both are adorable, and I just have to note that as a 33-year-old listener, you girls have infiltrated my language that I use in everyday life. I found myself addressing someone as girly pop
Oh my gosh.
the other day and paused to question myself on where the heck that word came from before realizing I probably picked it up from binging your podcast. Period. And other phrases have also made an appearance, but I think I can confidently say IFs will not be added to my vocabulary. Sorry, Morgan, but I don't know if that one will catch on anytime soon. Love
you know
both.
what? That's okay. I wasn't expecting it to catch on. I was just tired of saying imaginary friends 10,000 times in my segment.
Yeah. And for some reason, it's kind of caught on.
For some reason, it is caught on.
Definitely in the podcast, in the DMs, and the emails for sure.
You know what's so funny though is that I catch on Taylor's vocab. Like it's usually Taylor saying things that like I'll
Just
say
random
like
ass shit.
Yeah, bestie, girly pop, whatever. But you called me something the other day, and I meant to ask you pooks.
Where I got it from?
Bitch calls me pooks.
Pooks.
She said
Pooks.
one good thing, pooks, and I said that was so cute, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit because Luke's nickname growing up is Pooks. And so I was like, who's she been talking to?
No, I call Logan Pooks. Like, just sometimes, like, it's mainly when I'm being like crazy. I'll be like, okay, Pooks, like something like that. And what we were talking about,
No, that was my morning text from you. One good thing, Pooks.
One good thing, Pooks. Yeah,
that's what it was.
So I guess I must have been like calling him it or like trying to be
and
like
it
fun.
Was yeah.
And then I don't think I've ever called anybody else Pooks other than now you and Logan.
Yeah, I'm honored. But no,
Okay,
that's so funny because I still call Luke like Pookie.
Update, now I have to call everybody Pooks.
I'll say it to Aaron. I'll be like, hey, what's Pookie up to?
Hey, I'm going to start calling them Pookie. What's up, Pookie?
Hey, Pookies.
That is such a weird word.
Yeah,
I hope there's no like negative
I'm
connotations.
sure with our fucking luck there is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but on the topics of IFs, I have a story from my childhood that when I look back is super freaking weird. I am one of 5 kids, and the youngest 2 are twin boys. As you can imagine, with 5 kids, all 2 years apart, our house was often hectic. And my younger brothers were always the troublemakers. Shocker.
I was one of 4.
Of
Can't
course,
imagine
when
another
they're
one.
twins. The twins being the last 2.
It's giving cheaper by the dozen.
Immediately. Yes, exactly. Whether it was the time that my mom opened their bedroom door to find them risking a daring escape from their crib. Picture the chubby one teetering on the railing with the other one pulling him down to freedom.
So they were like yin and yang troublemakers.
Immediately, I would be so terrified.
Yeah.
You know what's scarier than twins? Twin boys.
Triplets.
Oh, immediately wrong.
Quadruplets.
No, I don't even want to be a part of that.
You're going to have twins, so it's fine.
Shut up. Or the seemingly made-up language that they used to share. Their twin telepathy always seemed to be on point. In fact, they were so in sync that they even shared the same imaginary friend.
I need to cover twins.
Yeah, you've only ever had silent twins.
Yeah.
You definitely need to cover twins. Actually, it wasn't just one imaginary friend, but 2. After observing them playing with an imaginary duo, my mom asked them who they were playing with, and they both were like, Dee Dee and Audie. Duh,
Mom.
Having
Tweedledee
never
and Tweedledum. Duh.
Having never heard those names before, but also never seen my brothers playing so nicely, I imagine her reaction was something along the lines of, I don't have the energy for this. And she just went along with her day, grateful that the twins were entertaining themselves. My mother is a literal angel on earth after dealing with all of us.
Mom power.
Mom power. Moms, you're doing amazing. If no one told you today, you're doing amazing. The imaginary friends Dee Dee and Audie were also twins. They did everything with my brothers. They were a staple in our household for a long time. We had to set plates for them at the dinner table and had to buckle them into seatbelts in the car when we went anywhere.
How'd you even have room?
I was going to say, y'all taking 15 cars? Holy hell. Luckily, Dee Dee and Audie were kind enough to share one seat in the car so they didn't throw us off too much. But still, 5 kids was crowded enough. We really didn't need a 6th and a 7th, especially ones that we couldn't see, 100%. As the older siblings, we would roll our eyes when asked to buckle them in and try and mess with them. But both of my brothers always stuck up for Dee Dee and Audie, like true friends. After a while, we just accepted them as part of the family and all coexisted happily for a while. I can't remember when or where they stopped coming around, but Dee Dee and Audie eventually moved on from us. Looking back, it's wild to think that both of my brothers could see these same imaginary friends and had that shared experience. I'd be interested to know if any other twins out there have similar experiences.
Ooh.
We should ask for some crazy twin telepathy stories next. I was about to say that, Miranda. You read my fucking mind. Hey guys, if you have any crazy twin telepathy or best friend telepathy, like soul twin telepathy, or just like
twin
sibling,
flame, baby,
like anything that's like telepathy, like same way, best friends, siblings, cousins, send that in. Twins specifically though. My brothers had a habit of seeing other spirits. Like the time as toddlers, they started giggling in the car with my dad, who asked them what was so funny. And my brother responded, Pop Pop is making me laugh. Pop Pop. Aw, guys, that's my Pop Pop's. My grandfather's name's Pop Pop, and I don't ever get to like read it. Most people don't say it. Okay. Pop Pop is making me laugh. Months after our grandpa passed away. As an adult, I have researched the names Dee Dee and Audie online since the names are so specific, but I found nothing. I fully believe that they were just little kid spirits that enjoyed the big hectic house and the friendship that they had with my brothers. I hope Dee Dee and Audie are doing well. We talk about them often when reminiscing about our childhood and the funny things we used to get into. Stay creepy, but less crimey. Miranda.
Thank you, Miranda.
Miranda, thank you so much. This was a really fun one.
Yeah, it was fun. I think that Dee Dee and Audie like weren't so much spirits, but something that the twins had created to bond and like create like
an imaginary,
like, you know, they're the only ones in a big family that are the same. Yeah. I don't know if they were identical I don't know.
Right.
But, you know, they were still the same. They came out of the same freaking wound.
You're right.
Better theory.
What?
Was your mom originally pregnant with quadruplets? And they absorbed. You need to find that out. Sorry if that was too insensitive.
I was thinking like that it was just like an extension of their higher self.
See, okay, so I was thinking that they were like, you know, they were the only ones that were a little different in the family that were the same, and they wanted friends that were also the same. Yeah, they wanted more of them.
To relate with someone that has that connection.
Their little twin powers that they did were able to create a set of twins that they could both see Dottie and they could both see Audie, but not Dottie, sorry, Dee Dee and Audie.
Dottie Ollie, is their couple's name. Dottie.
Help me.
Yeah, we got too many Ophies, Ollies, Odies.
But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, it could have been spirits.
I think it might fully just be like straight up imaginary friends. Yeah. You know, like legitimate imaginary friends. Like nothing sinister about it. Just like fun. I mean, and twin telepathy is so
unique
and strong, and like that spiritual connection with the spiritual realm with each other and with the physical realm is so heightened because not only do they have their own individual like connections with the spirit realm, they have
each other's
powers that are like morphed into one.
Yeah.
So that's why when you see like a lot of like twitches and shit like that, like you're so powerful when you're just one, but imagine what it is like when you're two. Like a lot of movies talk about like holding hands and like using that power together, harnessing it together. Like imagine that in twins.
Yeah.
Insane.
That is crazy.
Thank you so much, Miranda.
Thank you, Miranda.
So glad that we're here to keep you young and say girly pops.
Girly pops and IFs.
IFs. Make it happen. It's like fetch.
So not gonna happen. Okay, the next one we have is from Sydney, she, her pronouns. Title is website submission. Please read me. Hi ladies, my name is Sydney and I have been listening to you guys from the beginning. I enjoy listening as you guys grow in yourselves and the podcast. You two have unknowingly gotten me through 2 cross-country moves, many road trips, and several hard times. Love the podcast and you guys. Also, I want to apologize for any poor grammar. I am in the process of getting my 2nd degree and punctuation is still my biggest downfall. So I have 3 stories for you girls that all relate to another. A bit of background info about me is that I have always had some sort of spirit attached to my family, more me specifically, through my life that presents herself as a young girl. I have moved to several houses and many people have seen said girl come out of my room or appear in similar clothing to me. Whoa.
Doppelganger.
Quickly rounding a corner in every house my family and I have been in. I have never felt scared about her presence around me, although I probably should. I have several experiences with her that I could write pages about, but these stories are not about her. I named her Margaret.
I need to hear about Margaret.
These are involved with the sudden passing of my mother and grandmother. In 2021, during the peak of the pandemic, I moved to Seattle, Washington from a small town in Maryland. I had only been living in the state for a few months before my mother and grandmother sadly passed from the coronavirus very quickly and unexpectedly. I'm so sorry for your losses.
I'm so sorry.
My mother and I were always very close. She and my grandmother were the ones to convince me to move to Seattle with my now fiance, while everyone else tried to talk me out of it. I talked to my mother almost every day when I moved, and I believe that is one of the reasons I have great closure with her sudden passing. But these next few stories give me closure that even though I can't physically see them, I know they are around. After I had landed and settled down back in my hometown, I decided to take my brother and father to get new suits for the funeral. We went to a basic department store that we knew would have a variety of options. Long story short, we quickly picked and chose the outfits we thought seemed best for the funeral. Upon checkout, the lady at the register asked if I wanted to sign up for the rewards program. I politely declined and I proceeded to pay in cash for our outfits. I did not give her any info that could have linked me to a profile in the system, nor did I know the woman. The woman handed me the receipt and circled a spot at the bottom and said, "This is a link to fill out an online survey and about your experience today. You can get a $5 off coupon. My name is X and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Nicole." Now, to anyone else, you are thinking, yeah, and? Well, my name is Sydney and my recently deceased mother's name was Nicole. I quickly said, "I'm sorry, did you call me Nicole?" And she looked at me blankly and said, "Oh, I am sorry, sweetie. I'm not sure why I said that." My father and I, upon leaving the store, immediately go, "Did you hear her call me Nicole?" Again, I did not give her a phone number, name, address, or anything. I did not even use a card for her to get some sort of name. Could have been a coincidence, but it was too odd not to take as a sign. A few days after the funeral, my grandfather and I were out on the porch watching the torrential downpour, as we often do together. Something about it calms us down and always had. My grandfather and I were talking, crying, reminiscing about my mother and grandmother, his wife and daughter. Mid-conversation, a hummingbird flies out of nowhere and hovers in front of my grandfather's face and stays there for over 20 seconds and then proceeds to come over to me and hovers for several seconds before flying off. My grandmother loved hummingbirds and constantly had over 5 bird feeders out during the summer for most of her life. The odd thing, though, there were no bird feeders out, and this was after hummingbird season. By then, they would have already started migrating elsewhere. Also, to mention again, it was a torrential downpour. It was heavily raining. The poor thing would have gotten pelted down with how heavy the rain was. Wow. I know.
That'll do it for me.
The last story is after I had already flown back to my apartment in Seattle. My apartment complex had an indoor hot tub you could book time slots for, and appointments were mandatory because of social distancing. I booked an appointment to go and try to relax. I was in there for about half an hour talking to my mom and grandma, crying and pleading to God, asking why them. I realized if someone else had an appointment after me, they would be soon coming and see a crazy girl in the hot tub crying and talking to herself. So I get out, I dry off, and I turn everything off. Before I leave, I say, "Mom, can you give me a sign that you are still here with me? Don't slam the door or window or any of that scary shit. Just splash the water." I shit you not, immediately after I had said water, the jets to the hot tub quickly come on full force and quickly turn off. I look around like no fucking way that just happened, and I try to calm myself down. I spoke again while crying. "You are still here with me?" And once again, the jets immediately turn on and go back off after a couple seconds. I wait for several minutes to see if maybe it was a malfunction with the jets, but not even a ripple happened. At this point, I am sobbing and I say my I love yous, and I run back to the apartment past my startled and concerned fiance and called my dad. I say, you will never guess what just happened. And my father goes, was it your mother? Our old bedroom door keeps opening and closing no matter what I do to try and stop it. I would like to think they are still with me, even though I haven't had any more experiences from them. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I appreciate you guys and for the comfort you bring people each week. Sincerely, Sydney. Gorgeous story.
That is,
you know, it was a good story when Taylor's bubbling.
That is such a sweet. Your mom is so sweet.
No, the hummingbird.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry. I just want to hug you and your little grandpa.
Your big old smoochie.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
Wow, your mom's got. Wow.
Your mom's like,
Damn.
I'm still here for you.
Yeah,
like
said,
you've
slam
got
the
this.
door.
You all got this.
Yeah, what an incredible amount of energy. She's
Strong.
still very much here with you. Like the way that she's able to channel and all the things, like that's a thing when it comes to spirits. Like once they give us one validation, we're like, okay, another one. But it takes so much energy for them to do that it also makes them, like, when they bring out something that big,
Right.
when they control something that's in the physical world and physically take control of it, drains their energy so quickly that it takes a long time to build that up again. Even though they continue to still be around, they can't communicate as often. So just know that, I mean, her ability to fully put that
It's one strong mama,
and like be able to do that for you, like even if, you know, you ask her sometimes now and maybe it doesn't happen as often, like just know that she is 100% still there. And if you ever needed to speak with her and she's not coming forward or whatever, obviously you know that we have Susan ready and available for you guys whenever you want it. That might not be something that you're comfortable with doing now or even ever. And either way, just know, like, you don't need Susan here to tell you. She would honestly come on the podcast and say it herself. Like,
Yeah.
You don't need me to tell you that your mom's still here with you. Another thing that they can do, and a better thing that they can put their energy towards, is to just wrap you up with just so much love and just constantly make you feel comforted, even in the moments when you feel sad or when you get your little chill bumps. So those are easy things that they can do just by breezing past you. Wow. Your mother. Wow. That is such a phenomenal story.
Yeah.
And I feel like grandma was the hummingbird.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. And mom's like, turn off the hot tub. Get out. You're getting pruny. Get out.
Get out. Time to go,
You're getting
babe.
pruny. You got to get out.
Time to go, babe.
Oh my God. That's really cool.
Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you so much for sending that in. So the next one we have is from Brittany using she, her pronouns. And the title is Creepy Account for May with Update.
Ooh, update. I love that.
My grandma passed away in October of 2018. She suffered from Alzheimer's and I was 28 when she passed. I saw her about a month before. I live in Texas and she was in Vermont. She claimed that the last time she saw me was when I was 10, which was not the case because I saw her like 3 months prior. But she remembered that I was engaged and my fiance had the same name as one of her grandsons, which is true. Alzheimer's is such a strange and cruel disease. When she passed, I was obviously sad and at the same time glad her suffering was over. When my grandma was living, she loved to sit in her living room and watch the birds come and eat from the bird feeders. She had so many bird feeders. Anyways, she loved cardinals. So when she passed, I would see a cardinal and I would say, "Hi, Grandma." There was one time when one was chilling on my fence, and no matter how much I moved or got close to it, it stayed. I feel like if it was just a normal bird, it would fly away, but it was Grandma. The first Christmas after she passed, I was spending Christmas with my fiance's family in Houston, while the rest of my family was in the Dallas area. I got out of the shower and my fiance and his parents were yelling at me to come to the backyard. I ran out there and there was a cardinal just sitting in a palm tree.
That's weird.
Now, I don't know if cardinals go that far south, but that has been the only one I've seen in Houston. When I saw the cardinal, I said, "Hi, Grandma, and Merry Christmas." And about 30 seconds later, it flew away. My fiance and his parents said that the cardinal had been sitting there for like 10 minutes. So I fully believe it was my grandma coming to wish me a Merry Christmas.
Aw.
Another time my grandma made a huge appearance was on October 19th, 2019, 1 year and 1 day after her passing. My grandma was a huge Red Sox fan and hated the Yankees. My now husband is a die-hard Astros fan. On October 19th, 2019, the Astros were playing the Yankees and the series was 3-2 at that point. Astros were ahead in the series. We did not want to go to Game 7. Anyways, we were in Alabama visiting my brother-in-law and going to an Alabama football game. Ugh.
Roll that.
And
Roll balls.
And my husband and my mother-in-law were kind of upset that they were going to miss the Astros game, but were excited to watch the Alabama game. Well, that morning before we left for the tailgate, I was chilling at the Airbnb and I looked out the window and there was a flock of cardinals in the tree. I kind of joked with my husband and my mother-in-law that was a sign from my grandma that the Astros were going to beat the Yankees. While we were at the Alabama game, we were getting updates from the Astro game. We scored 3 runs in the first inning, and the game was looking good. By the 9th inning, the Yankees scored 2 runs to tie the game. My husband was about to lose his shit. He tends to be a pessimist when it comes to sports. So he was already telling himself that it was going to go to extra innings and we were going to lose. As we were walking out of the game,
Altuve
hits a 2-run bomb to win the game and the series to go to the World Series. We lost to the Nationals, but my grandma really only cared about us beating the Yankees. That is so good. This is where my grandma probably saved me. I live in a small town and work at Fort Hood as a contractor. My husband still lived in the Dallas area because he was developing his career as well. I think the long distance made our relationship stronger, but we live together now. So I lived alone at this point. By my apartment, there was this really nice paved trail that was about 3 miles long. It was the perfect trail to run or just walk to clear my head or decompress. Working with the military can be pretty stressful. I would bet, friend. The trail ran behind a couple of neighborhoods and then opened up to a frisbee golf course and a park. The start of the trail is in this heavily wooded area that only lasts about half a mile before it opened up. The main part of the trail had a creek next to it and some trees. I was approaching the beginning of the trail and I saw a cardinal and I knew it was my grandma. By this point, she had only come around on holidays or major events. This was just a random day. So I said hi and continued on my walk. I got to the open part of the trail and in the distance, about a quarter of a mile or so, I saw a group of guys in hoodies. It was like summertime, so there was no need for hoodies.
And Texas is fucking hot.
Exactly. At first, I figured it was just some kids playing in the creek because the neighborhood is right there. Then I remembered. It was like 2 o'clock and school hadn't been released for the day. I just felt like continuing my walk was not worth it and I turned around to go home. I also turned off my headphones so I could hear if anyone was coming up behind me. I truly believe that my grandma showed up to warn me of the danger ahead.
Absolutely.
100%. As we know, the Astros won the World Series this past season. My husband went down to Houston to go to the game with his parents. I stayed at home because I had prior engagements that I couldn't get out of. Well, when my husband was gone, he told me that he saw a cardinal in his parents' backyard before he went to the game. He told me that he said hi to grandma and
Aww.
Go Astros before it flew off. This was the only time that he had seen one without me. So I like to think she went to see him to let him know that his team was going to win. But besides grandma saving me, there's one last sighting that kind of left me speechless. And I just recently put a couple of things together in my mind. In June of 2022, my cousin got married. My family rented a huge house so that all the extended family could stay in one place. It was a blast. It was the morning after the wedding and we were sitting on the patio and in the pool when I saw 2 cardinals. I instantly knew one was grandma, but I thought the other one was my grandpa who passed away a couple of years prior. It should be noted that my grandma was my mom's mom and my grandpa was my dad's dad. They actually passed away on the same day 2 years apart. The cousin that got married was on my mom's side, so it wouldn't make sense for my grandpa to show up since it wasn't his side of the family. Well, about 5 weeks after my cousin's wedding, I found out that I was pregnant. And my due date is 3 days after my grandma's birthday, St. Patrick's Day.
Stop.
All of this just kind of hit me the other day and it makes sense. I think my grandma brought my unborn son to show him who his parents were going to be. Now I'm 30 weeks pregnant and I can't wait to have a St. Patrick's Day baby. So those are all the times that my grandma has come to visit me and bring me good news. Below, I have attached a photo of my grandma. Sometimes it's hard to see people's personality in pictures, but you can definitely see her personality shine through this one. She always called herself the queen. And guys, this picture is so iconic.
She is a fucking queen.
Such a queen. And then we have an update. It says, Hello, ladies. I just have to say that I love y'all's podcast, and I'm pretty particular with my podcast and get over them pretty quickly. But y'all's has kept me going. It really does seem like I am on the couch with you and a part of the conversation. I just had my son, so I'm a little behind, but that just means I can binge them during his nap times.
Aww.
So thank you for all that you do and keep up the amazing work. My son was born on March 12th, 4 days before my grandma's birthday. He is absolutely perfect, and I know already part of my grandma's spirit lives inside him.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for everything that y'all do. Feel free to use my name, Brittany. Brittany, your baby is so beautiful.
And your grandma's a queen.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Oh, grandma. What a queen. What a fucking
spunky
queen.
little boy.
Oh, I love little boys.
I love birds.
Me too.
I mean, this
Birds
is why
are
I think
so
they're
spiritual.
real, because
Birds are real.
if they weren't,
Patreon right now is literally traumatized.
if they aren't real, how do you explain that?
No, really. Birds are very spiritual beings.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for
Thank
saying
you,
that
Brittany.
in. This is such a beautiful story.
It was. The next one is from Lucy, using she, her pronouns. The title is Weird. Did you write this title?
No, that's literally what the title
she
is.
wrote it. Weird Little Stories from the UK. Hiya, my name's Lucy. I'm from Surrey in the UK. I have some creepy shit that seems to be going on all the time in my life, and I thought I should share it because, I mean, I don't think it's anything major, but at the same time, fuck. I want to tell you a couple stories. I have a trolley full, but we will take all bloody day. Just wanted to say I absolutely love your podcast. Started listening in January, so whenever I'm traveling or doing college work, you are on. Your last creepy accounts really hit home for me as a sexual assault survivor. At the end of the day, you made me so safe. I was thinking, my story is pretty fucked and interesting to share. Might make me feel validated hearing it in your words, but the old Bill are still investigating, so that's a story for another time. I'm assuming police.
Police, yeah.
Well, the old Bill should probably get that
Figured the
done.
fuck out. Yeah.
I
whenever
would
it's
like to know
done.
how long they've been taking on that.
And if you feel comfortable to share, we would love to help you share. Speak it.
Now on to story number 1. I have worked in social care aside from the NHS for about a year now. I currently work in a small care home for individuals with disabilities. It's a very old house, big for the UK, but like 1830s, I think. I'll give you a little layout. We have 4 bedrooms upstairs, 1 being for staff, and 3 downstairs with a kitchen, lounge, and dining room, etc. Some weird shit keeps happening. In September of 2022, I was on shift, 13 and a half hours, so a pretty normal shift. We have an office where we do handover, and we do handover to handover the morning to any new PM staff. Like, say how the service user's day was, did they do a poo? You get me. So at this time, okay. I'm with her now.
I'm with her.
So at this time, all staff are in this office, sat down. We have a battery-powered clock in the office, and it cannot be controlled by the computer, and the computer was off. This clock randomly went back from 2 p.m. to like 9:45 a.m. We thought nothing of it until we went into the dining room, hallway, and kitchen after handover, and all the other clocks in the house did the same, but different times. Then in about 30 minutes, each clock returned to the same present time. We were like, okay. Anyway, so it only gets weirder. When I started last year, I started to hear rumors of the malicious cackle that staff hear around the house. It often arrives at like 6 p.m. every night, and God knows how many times I, among others, have heard it. Most people hear it on the upstairs landing next to a resident's bedroom. We are unsure if it is him, as he is in a depressive state and will not leave his room, but it also sounds nothing like him. There are staff members who think it is part of his psychosis, but a colleague of mine has been standing by the door when he heard it, barged into his room, and the dude was asleep. Still, could he be sleep talking? I don't think so. It used to be localized to that landing, but recently I have heard it from the back of the house downstairs where there is a vacant room. It's become more of a very loud giggle. I can't tell you how many of us have heard it. Often feels like it's behind us. It's that loud. We brought it up to our manager, and he was like, yeah, no, little girl died in this house. No, I'm going home. That's what she says.
Immediately going home.
At the service, staff do sleep in shifts, and another staff does waking night. This is going to sound very basic haunting, but at 2 to 4 a.m., the temperature drops. Like, we have to check the temperature regularly, and it goes from 25 degrees Celsius, which is pretty normal, to 12 degrees Celsius. What? I wish I knew what Celsius is.
Wait, I need to know what that means in Fahrenheit. 1 second. 25 degrees Celsius is 77 degrees Fahrenheit.
So 50.
So then 12 would be...
52. That's what it is.
I'm sorry, 25 is 77. So then 12 degrees Celsius would be 53. So it goes from 77, almost 80 degrees, to literally 53.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ, that's a big drop.
Yeah, that's cold as fuck. Lastly, when staff go take a WAS, we have to lock the door of the room we are in because residents will literally walk into the bedroom attached to the bathroom you're pissing in. A lot of staff will try and push it open when it's locked to check if it's actually locked. Well, this happened to me the other day, but I just locked myself in to go on my phone. I felt bad, so I tried to open it. I couldn't. It was like someone was now pulling it shut or rattling the handle. Weirded out, I managed to get downstairs. Everyone was doing notes or in the garden, and I asked, yet no one was trying to use the loo. Anyway, I write this and I see how dead it is, so let's move on. Story 2 out of 3. So my mom grew up on the outskirts of London, near Heathrow Airport. Growing up, she lived down a very close bit road. Everyone knew everyone. Like literally, even now, my family all lived down the same road like in the 80s. My mom had a friend when she was around 10 that lived next door. My mom told me about her friend's dad. He was this lovely guy who was the nice dad, while the mom was borderline abusive. When the dad died, I think of cancer, the wife got a new man. He did not treat my mom's friend and her brother well. Now, this is all like usual shit that goes on, but around that time, my mom would look out of her window into the back garden and onto the neighbor's semi-detached house and see that dad dead standing in the garden watching his children.
So the one that had passed away from cancer.
Oh my God. Yeah, he was dead.
Oh, that's what she, okay, dead. Sorry, I'm like trying
I thought like dead standing, like standing still.
Standing like a pencil.
No, the dead dad.
The dead dad.
Was standing in the garden watching his children.
Oh my God.
Years later, their mom moved away with the kids. Now, this is sad, not creepy. The day they moved, as my mom was saying goodbye, she spotted the deceased dad waving goodbye from the upstairs window to his children for the last time as they moved far away. There are so many more hauntings or weird occurrences in my mom's family home, from cube spirits carrying my young uncle into my grandma's room in the night when he was upset. So much more. What are cube spirits?
I don't know what the fuck that is, but I need the stories.
No.
Oh my God, that's so sad. He's waving as they're moving far, far away.
And he's stuck there.
No, but Dad, you're not stuck there. You can go.
Aw, baby.
Poor honey.
This is story 3 out of 3, my final story, and it is a cat story.
Woohoo!
I have grown up with cats all my life. Give me a date and time, and a cat lived in my house. When I was really young, I had night terrors, and I had this one night terror where I was walking on my landing, probably, and my old cat stood on his hind legs and told me I had to enter my sister's room or he would kill my mom.
Oh my God.
I walked into what looked like hundreds of cats, ready to pounce. They then pounced on me and started scratching, and I woke up. This night terror happened like 4 times. During the period that my cats from baby to child had died, there was one time I had my best friend for a sleepover. Randomly, she points to my chest of drawers and says, "Kitty, kitty." I was like, "What are you doing?" So I looked, and there was a large shadow of a cat walking by the drawers, and then it disappeared. Years later, I got 2 new cats. One of these cats, Freddie, was very intuitive, always reacting to my wardrobe doors like something was going in it, like my first cat used to do. One day, my current cat was sat on my friend's lap. I went into my mom's room next door and I stroked my other cat, and when I came in, my friend asked to check if the cat I had just stroked had gone into my wardrobe as what looked like a black shadowy tail swooped in, and then the cat on her chest went apeshit but didn't move. But I had just pet my cat.
Oh, so there's just a little black cat that lives in your wardrobe.
Yeah, but it's a ghost. It's a
Yeah,
shadow.
a little ghosty shadow.
Shadow cat.
Perfect. Love it.
More recently, I started to have night terrors, and cats were a big thing in them. I'd feel like I was awake, and I'd move my eye. Obviously, the wardrobe cat is a shadow evil wardrobe cat, and it's haunting your dreams.
That's not a good wardrobe cat.
No. I'd feel like I was awake, and I'd move my eyes to see that first cat from my old dreams sat on top of me. The window was open, and again, hundreds of stray cats were sat on my flat roof staring at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. They would just edge closer and closer. Oh my God, the cat night terrors.
But I have to, like, my situation with this cat night terror situation is like, what type of cat cult leader do you have living in your closet?
Yeah.
What type of cat ghostly cat cult?
It's like all the neighborhood cats, like they go there when you're gone.
They just
and
like
there's one ringleader, and it's the shadow cat.
And it's your shadow cat that lives in your
wardrobe
wardrobe.
cat.
And
Whoa.
just to be positive, wardrobe's like a closet, like the Narnia.
I don't know, because she was saying drawers. Maybe. Could be a dresser. Could be one of the big wardrobes.
Yeah, maybe that's got like some on the bottom and like the top has it too, where you can hang it in there.
Maybe.
Question mark.
I don't know. I have a long history of sleep paralysis from the man that would stare at me from my wardrobe every night for like 5 nights in a row to these bloody cats. Wait.
What?
Pause.
So the man's the ringleader of these cats. I have a long history of
So
sleep
now
paralysis.
the wardrobe is definitely big because it can fit a man.
Yeah, so it's definitely.
So the man is at the edge of the bed.
He's in a standing closet.
He's in a standing wardrobe, not a dresser.
But we're gonna call it like a detached closet.
He's in Narnia.
Yeah, he's in Narnia.
He's in the Narnia portal, and he is the cult leader of the
cats
of the shadow.
and
cats.
he morphs into this black cat that walks around that everybody freaks out. That's exactly what the fuck it is.
He's a morph guy.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Holy shit. My house is definitely haunted. I mean, it is Edwardian, but that's a whole set of stories for my mom that makes her sound loopy.
Edwardian?
I don't know what that is. Narnian? Sounds like Victorian.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
I know. I'm so interested. Can we get on FaceTime?
Honestly, can you just like hop on the phone with us really quick and walk us through what all this means?
Okay, actually, she says, final one, 4 out of 3. Oops. My dad's mom ran away from Ireland when she was very young and changed her name. She later married my granddad, a police officer who interviewed a well-known serial killer in the UK. But that's another story. She's got so many stories. Throughout my nan's life, she would say all sorts of weird shit that I love. Like, I have Celtic blood in me, so I'm related to the fairies. Yeah. My nan claimed to be a witch. She was skeptical at first, but when I asked my dad about it on my journeys home when we got older, turns out my nan used to curse other road traffic officers and detectives like my granddad when they had wronged her husband. She did it a couple of times, and each time, days later, the officers would get in an accident or fall off their motorbikes. My nan passed years back, but even now she is quite spiritual. She always appeared as a robin when I had a meltdown on my 2020 lockdown walks, and later 2 robins appeared when my grandma died. Anyway, thought it was quite interesting, kind of funny, because my dad thinks he has these powers and keeps trying to curse those who wrong me. We will never wrong you. Lucy?
We will never
wrong you.
We will never wrong you.
If you feel like we have wronged you, please let us know before you tell your dad or your nan.
Yeah. Honestly, Nan's a witch.
Nan was a witch, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's still a witch. You don't stop being a witch.
Hovering over top of us.
Yeah, Nan.
You know what Nan?
Tell us the Irish tea.
You know what Nan's doing right now? Nan is currently fighting the wardrobe man. The cat cult leader.
Nan is duking it the fuck out with wardrobe, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if you still have this wardrobe.
I would like
so
to
many
too.
fucking questions.
She wraps up. I hope this makes my creepy accounts. I love all my love. Thank you so much, Lucy.
Lucy, this was my first time reading, or our first time reading. Like, I think we've done a UK listener before, but I've never had this like slang.
Yeah, me neither.
And like I listen to Sophie and Chenzia on everything, so like I know what a lot of it is, but like I was a little confused half the time. But I loved it. I loved it. I want 1,500 more.
I felt like Mrs. Worldwide.
Will you like send us like the next one that you're writing? Because
can you send an audio recording so we can just play it?
Well, just send us an audio book with it. So listen, there's a few things that you need to send us. This is your homework, Lucy. I'm going to need you to tell us about, there was a story for another time, the many stories that your mom has in her Edwardian house. And I need you to explain to us what Edwardian is, even though we'll also Google
little more info on Wardrobe Man.
That
was just a little pipe and hot goss you threw in there.
Yeah.
Trying to be slick.
And then there was another one that you were like, there's something else. I need plenty of stories about this. But whichever one it is, I need you to send those in.
The serial killer in the UK.
Yes. I need you to send all and I want another Nan story. I want a badass Celtic grandma story immediately.
Me too.
So send that in, and
thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to us in the fucking UK.
Love you.
What the fuck, friend? Thank you so much, Lucy. This was like
I felt crazy.
The coolest day of my life. Okay. I feel so fucking cool right now. That was so sick. Okay. Anyways. Number 6 is from Shannon using she, her pronouns. And the title is Ghost Stories. Hi, my name is Shannon. I just started listening to y'all's podcast and I absolutely love it. My best friend and I were listening to one of your creepy account episodes when we started talking about my weird encounters and actions growing up. My best friend begged me to send y'all some of my stories, so I agreed, of course, and decided to share the ones that made the biggest impressions on me. So this may or may not be long, but some of this not many know about because of how much it creeps me out. Growing up, I always knew that I had some sort of connection with the spirit world, but I did not realize how sensitive I was to it until I came to college. As a kid, I always had encounters with spirits. Sometimes my playsets would come on in the middle of the night, even when the batteries were dead. Looking back now, it seems seems that a particular spirit was fond of me. I'm not sure what it is, but I know that it did not live on this earth.
Oh my God.
My second home I lived in, there were many nights where I had night terrors. Saw the occasional shadow in the hallway, sleepwalking. My dad would, at times, find me trying to leave the house or moving things around in the house. But what really got to me was my sleep paralysis. Now, I know people had sleep paralysis, but mine, I was never face up. I was always face down.
Oh my God.
In my pillow, unable to move, suffocating.
Oh my God.
Every time it happened, I remembered waking up, finding it so hard to breathe and completely helpless for what seemed like forever, but in reality was only a few seconds. For a 6 through 11-year-old kid, this was terrifying. I hated that home, and I always felt that something or someone was with me, watching me. So I eventually moved out of that home and into a newly built home. The night terrors and sleep paralysis stopped for the most part. I graduated high school and moved off to college, and that is when weird things started to pick back up. For a little context about the dorm I lived in, I never knew anything about it until things started to happen when I moved in. Then I did a little bit of research. I had a roommate, and our room was on the top floor, 3rd floor. On one side of the room, it was closed off. It was, oh my God. On one side of the room, it was a closed-off elevator shaft where a girl fell down and died. It is now covered by a giant mirror.
Why is that legal to have in a room?
First off, a mirror of all the fucking things. Is it a two-way mirror? That's a portal.
Shame on the school, because that's a dorm.
And where she fell and died, and it's in their room. It's attached to their fucking room.
No.
On the other side of our room was our RA's room, where a girl, trigger warning, committed suicide. Right above us was the attic, where some sort of evil entity lives. I personally could feel the bad vibes coming from that attic. Anyways, the second night of my freshman year in that dorm, I remember very well. I remember waking up flat on my back and unable to move. For some reason, I looked down at my closet, which my bed was facing, and in the corner of the ceiling, there was a dark shadow. It started to crawl towards me on the ceiling.
No.
I do not know how to describe it, but that it was a solid black shadow crawling towards me. I immediately screamed, "What is that?" Voice raspy and breathless. It woke up my roommate, but I was just so tired, we both fell back asleep. So throughout that school year, I continued to have encounters. On the wall beside me that my bed was up against were crosses, and the one I had hanging above my head, I remember one night, as if I wasn't in control of my own body, I took the cross off the wall and put it on the floor. That wasn't the only time that the cross came off the wall, but it was the only time that I remember doing it. Remember how I said there was some entity that was fond of me? Well, I believe it was a he. This next moment during my freshman year involved a young girl that I believe was the girl that, trigger warning, committed suicide. I was doing the dishes in my dorm room one day while my roommate was in class, and I heard a female voice say, "What are you doing?" I shook it off and told myself that it was my roommate, even though she wasn't there. But then I heard her say, "What are you doing?" again. My roommate walked in after that, and I never heard from her again. I have one last moment that I want to tell you guys about, and then I'm done. It was the summer after my freshman year at my home. I was doing something in the kitchen while my grandmother was in the bathroom doing something else. All of a sudden, I heard a scream, which, thinking back now, it didn't even sound like her. But I was too freaked out to care at the time. My grandmother walks back into the kitchen, and I asked her if she was okay because I thought she had hurt herself or something. She said no and asked why. I told her that I heard a scream, but she denied it and told me that she didn't scream. I truly believe the spirit of one of those girls had attached themselves to me to protect me from whatever was following me. I haven't had a huge experience since, but I still get some feelings that someone is with me or watching me. I have burned sage, prayed, and many other things. My family has a Wicca bloodline. Wow. And I believe that may be the reason I have so many different attachments and experiences. Thank you for reading. Well, holy shit, Shannon. I have so many fucking questions.
I do too. What university did you go to?
Yeah. What is the name of this dorm? What the fuck are they doing? Just putting a mirror over a closed off elevator shaft?
The fucking crawl on the ceiling.
No. The cross. The cross. Yeah, you definitely have something that you haven't either fully tapped into, or you tapped into something that you weren't supposed to be tapping into, or these things just follow you around.
Susan. Bitch, what the fuck?
What?
What are you looking at?
Oh my God.
What the fuck are you doing? You were just staring that way.
I thought I heard a door open. I was looking at the door in the window.
Bitch, you were literally just like this.
There's something on my face. When you gave at me like that.
I thought you were in a trance, bitch. I thought there was someone behind me.
No, it's okay.
What the fuck? Don't ever do that again. Ever.
Don't you ever do that again.
You need to say, what is that? You don't get to go quiet mid-sentence.
I was just looking at the fucking thing. I thought I heard the door open.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay, keep rolling. Keep rolling.
I am over this story. Shannon. Call Susan.
Call Susan right fucking now.
Right fucking now. Because I think you just haunted and possessed Taylor. Whatever's on you just came
now
to
we
Taylor.
have to rewatch that video. Guys, I don't know if it's going to make it into the cut, but if it doesn't make it into the cut, basically, I went into the trance looking at a door. I thought it was like 2 seconds, like not even 2 seconds. I thought I just looked at the door to see if it was on. Morgan says I stopped mid-full fucking sentence, just went blank face and was staring out the window.
Like, we were having a conversation, and I said, she needs to call Susan. And I look over, because usually I'm just the commentator. Taylor is the carrier, and she's like this. Freaked me the fuck out, especially because I have the windows behind me. I don't know what's back there.
Morgan throws the mic, throws the iPad, and puts her fucking like face right in front of my. What is it? What are you looking at? And I thought something was on my face, so I throw the mic. I start slapping.
No, and when you jumped out of whatever you were in, scared me even more. I'm scared.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Okay. Just go. Just fucking read.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon. Thanks a lot, Shannon. Love you. Next story.
Shit. The next one is from Tyla. She, her pronouns. Title, angel sent prior to father's passing. Oh. Hello, ladies. My name is Tyla, pronounced Tyla. Just adding that in because I've heard everything remotely close to my name, yet a lot of people can't pronounce it correctly. Well, I hope I'm still doing it right.
Tyla. Yeah.
Okay.
Tyla.
I've listened to your podcast for about a year now, and I've become absolutely obsessed with you guys. I listen in the car, while I'm cleaning the house, while I'm out walking, everywhere. You're always on my phone, to the point of when I get in my boyfriend's truck, your voices will automatically boom through the speakers, and he'll go, you were listening to that podcast again, huh?
Hey, boyfriend.
He knows it's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I can't wait till he pops on and hears us doing this one.
Yeah. Anyways, the morning I'm writing this, I had just listened to your Imaginary Friends podcast where you shared all the stories of IF sent in. I am a firm believer that children are extremely sensitive. I was one of those kids. It instantly brought back memories of my imaginary friend, which Mom and I believe was an angel I had when I was 4, so I figured I would share. Around the time I was 3 or 4 years old, I started playing with an imaginary friend who I called Susie. I can't remember what Susie physically looked like now, but when my mom asked me as a child what Susie looked like, I replied with, she has blonde hair and she wears a white dress and she has wings. Susie went with me everywhere. I made my mother buckle her up in the car, make her a plate at the dinner table, and even tuck her into bed at night. Susie was my buddy, my best friend. My mom asked me one day, honey, where did Susie come from? In which I replied, she chose us. After I was asked why she chose us, I responded with, because a bad man hurt her parents. She chose us. She loves me, Mama. My mother shared this information with my father, who was always freaked out by Susie. He'd say Susie wasn't real or that I was watching too much Scooby-Doo. I was obsessed. Makes sense why I like creepy and crime stuff so much now, right?
Us too, friend.
That, I would love to run a poll on that.
No.
How many people were obsessed with Scooby-Doo?
How many people
literally
love Scooby-Doo? 100%. I do.
Because it was like,
it's
Scooby-Doo was Creeps and Crimes prior to Creeps and Crimes.
We honestly
stole Scooby-Doo.
Stole Scooby-Doo.
We did.
Clearly.
He even took Scooby-Doo away from me in hopes I'd stop freaking him out with Susie.
Dad.
But Susie didn't go away. Susie hung around for a while, but one day I just stopped talking about her. I can't really remember exactly when I stopped seeing Susie. Flash forward about 6 months to 1 year later, my father got diagnosed with melanoma skin cancer. By the time the doctors found the cancer, it was stage 4 and had already made it into his bones. There was nothing they could do. My father's battle was short. He passed away 9 months later at the age of 38. I was 5 years old.
Oh my goodness.
To this day, my mother firmly believes that Susie was an angel sent to me to comfort me before the horrible news and tragedy of my father's passing. As I am now older and can understand, I believe she was right. I am an only child, and I was often lonely. Susie was an angel sent to me. This story will always be one of my favorites, even though it can be painful to relive those times. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I enjoy listening to you ladies, and just know I laugh along with your banter. Please keep doing what you're doing. XOXO. P.S. I have plenty of more stories of my father after his passing, as he always sends me signs that he's around. I still have a relationship with him in the afterlife. He promised my mom before his passing that he would always communicate with us in any way he could. And even 19 years later, he still does. Let me know if you're interested in hearing them. Thanks, ladies.
I am dying to hear these, and I wonder if he ever like turned on Scooby-Doo. Since he thought that's you were like watching too much.
You know,
Scooby-Doo.
he knows Susie now.
Yeah, he definitely. I think 100%. I think this is so right, and I'm so sorry for the passing of your father at such a young age, especially his young age, even like 38 years old.
I couldn't imagine.
I truly do believe that Susie was his kind of like angel that would guide him into heaven and to the afterlife. And I think that she came down there to make you comfortable so you would know that there's something more beyond this.
Yeah, I would love to have seen their interaction in the afterlife.
Me, I bet he was like, Susie,
are you shitting me
is that
right
you, bitch? Oh, yeah, I think 100%.
Yeah.
Wow. I love, this was such a great story. Thank you so much for sending this in. Please send in the rest of your fathers. All right, our final story is from Liv. Title is Someone in My Walls.
Oh, fuck off.
Amazing.
Fuck off, Liv. Not tonight.
Besties.
I'm freaked out.
I just found your podcast last week, and I have been binging it nonstop. Safe to say I am obsessed and eating up the CNC lore. Minutes into my first creepy account that I listened to, I knew I had to send you a blurb. I love this newly discovered corner of the world.
Welcome aboard.
Oh my God, we're the eighth wonder of the world, honestly.
Oh,
When I was
want to go that far.
Okay, here we go. When I was in middle school, I discovered my love for the world of true crime and paranormal activity. The world when I stumbled upon creepypastas and true crime YouTube channels.
Creepypastas will do you in.
That'll do you in. This has since developed into my religious watching of true crime documentaries and listening to several podcasts pertaining to true crime. My fanatical behavior is the result of feeling validated that the weird, unexplainable things that have happened to me all of my life are not entirely in my head. I am insanely sensitive to energy and have always been conscious of the spiritual realm. That sounds so witchy, but I don't know how else to explain it. We get it. The best way I can describe this to people is by telling them this creepy instance that happened to me when I was in high school. I'm 23 now. My family and I had been living in a condo for a few years, and the sellers told us that the screens and doors were equipped to be paired with the alarm system, whose control box was installed in the upstairs hallway. The system was from the 1970s. Since it was outdated, my family decided not to set it up and instead installed a Ring doorbell. The control box went completely ignored for years. That house was loud. If you're an energy aura person, you know what I'm talking about. The house practically talked. There was always bumping inside the walls and unexplainable sounds during any time of the day. I would constantly be asking my family, "Do you hear that?" And they would occasionally confirm that they too heard the bangs and creaking. Our cat would yowl. Oh my God, my cat yowls all fucking day. Ophi. Meow, meow, meow.
All day.
Sound effects. Our cat would yowl at the ceiling and would stare at stuff that wasn't there. This isn't unusual for pets, especially cats, but the cat would stand up on its hind legs and claw at the corners of the house. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
This cat is still alive and living with my mom in a new house, and he doesn't engage in any of this behavior anymore. Definitely something was in that house 100%.
He's like, that behavior is beneath me. Thank you for moving me out.
The one time that Mila has ever yowled and scratched at the wall was when we had done that one remote recording on episode 14, 15, 13, one of those.
COVID.
And at 3 a.m. we were wrapping up and that fucking sound came from the ceiling and my cat started going, whoa, and climbing up the fucking walls to get to it. I'll never forget it. Okay. My parents told me the sounds were merely our condo neighbors Come to find out after moving out of that house that they were both so elderly that they were restricted to the main floor as neither of them could utilize the stairs. So why was there banging in the walls upstairs?
Right.
I never had a problem being home alone until we moved into that house. My imagination convinced me that someone lived in our walls. I would wake up wide awake in the middle of the night and feel someone. That's the only way I can describe it. I also had a reoccurring dream that there was a man sitting outside on the roof by my window watching me sleep. This dream stopped after moving out of that home.
Fuck that.
Both of my parents worked full time, so it wasn't rare for my younger sister and I to be at home alone in the late afternoon / early evening of any given day. It was one of these times where we were home alone in our rooms upstairs when the alarm box erupted into the loudest sound I have ever heard. It was similar to the sound of a fire alarm, but it was continuous, piercing beep. I was freaked, thinking that someone had attempted to break in. So I was frantically trying to dial 911 and recall all of what true crime survivors had done to fight off their offenders.
Scratch 100%. The fuck out of them.
Yes. But it was as I was dialing, I remembered that we had never even set up that alarm system. I rationalized that maybe the power had gone out or surged and something had tripped its wiring. I tried desperately to get the alarm to stop screaming. I pressed every single button on the wall. It was at the point that my dad had arrived home and could hear it beeping from the driveway. He met me upstairs, and after failing to get it to shut the fuck up, he ripped it out of the wall so we could cut all of the wires. That is so iconic. But when he ripped it out of the wall, we both just stood there in shock. My dad was still holding the still beeping wall installation in his hand, and the wires attached to the motherboard were already cut.
The fuck?
We could never figure out why a random piece of 20-plus-year-old plastic functioned without being wired. Well, I know that it had something to do with the creepy shit that follows me around. Even if it was just a system malfunction due to its old age, it was just weird. Sending white and pink love. Liv.
Thanks, Liv.
Thanks, Liv.
There is no system malfunction with nothing fucking connected to nothing.
What is the system?
What system?
Where is the
what
system?
Malfunction?
Said system, no
it
system.
It is an empty plastic box in the wall with cut up wires.
And you're right. Someone was living in the wall and someone did cut the fucking wires in the wall.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Dude, was that a dream of someone sitting outside your window, or did someone just legitimately live in the walls? Like on Only Murders in the Building?
I'm getting freaked out.
I love creepy accounts.
I'm freaked out. Thank you, Liv.
But
I
thank
have no
God
commentary.
We have Bubs candle here, and it's Palo Santos.
I know, and it's been crackling away.
And she has been...
I'm getting essential oils out of it.
Yeah.
Does it have...
Yeah, it's Palo Santos and a few other scents, I believe. Man, well, Casey, Bubs, thank you so much for clearly protecting us.
No, seriously.
And did you... Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to watch the flame. Like, versus when the flame was still, when it's going ham. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, it is like a wood wick, so it's like cranking it up. But you'll see, like, when it starts, like, kicking it back and forth, Loki is kind of going ham.
I know it is. Thanks for hanging with us, Bubs.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much to everyone who wrote in their creepy accounts. Thank you guys so much for being patient with us as we're going through this little pre-recording situation.
Nightmare.
But
we did it, bitch.
We did it.
It's 9:30. I leave tomorrow for Italy.
And
love you guys.
We're getting off.
Goodbye.
Love you. And Emily, thank you so much again. And this is Foster & Co. If you guys want to get on there and order some candles from her, because besties help besties. Love you all so much. Morgan, we can't wait to hear about all of your travels. Make sure you're following along on her Instagram, morg.m_G, bitch.
And my TikTok, maybe. I'm going to really try hard.
We're going to try on the Tik.
I think it's just Morgan Mounts 3 for some reason.
Well, she's tagged in all the Creeps and Crimes ones.
Yeah, you can find me off
pop
Creeps
over
and
there.
Crimes.
All right, guys. Love you so much. Thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.